So happy to have you. This is our 6th episode. We are here with Mikki. Yes. We are talking about church hurt and things that done happen in the black church. And we call it, I really don't like that black church thing because it happens in the white church too.
I do.
So we don't really need to separate it. Yeah. I don't like that. That's one of the biggest things all over social media too. Talking about black church, white church. We all church. We all believe in Jesus. Come on. It's all one thing.
It's all politics.
Right.
Sometimes.
But we talked about with the last guest, we talked about sensitive things that happen as far as molestation and, you know, how it's always 3 types of men in all the churches I've ever been in. You got the molesters, you have the homosexuals. It is what it is. And then you just got them playing out, what did I say? I said 3 men. Don't nobody remember what the 3 men was? Homosexuals, molesters. Why don't nobody remember? That's crazy. But it is 3, and I can't remember the 3rd one. But it's usually always that in every church I've been in, regardless of whether it's known or whether it's swept under the rug, it's always that. And it's got to the point where I look for it. It's weird. It's like I know it's wrong. But every church I go in, I'm already like eyeing and see, oh yeah, that's that tambourine player over there. You know, that's, right. And it gets to a point where it's normal.
Yeah.
It's now become normal. But I want to talk a little bit more deeper than just that, the obvious.
Yeah.
A lot of small family type churches, because your family,
oh Lord,
and your pastor, it becomes a problem.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because I can't be mad at you as my family member.
Yeah.
Without it being
broadcasted.
You talking about the church and you going against the whole ministry and da 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 da.
Yeah.
And really all in all, I'm just mad at my cousin. Or who, you know what I'm saying? I'm just having a moment where personal things now you can't have personal problems without having church problems.
Yeah.
It got so real with me to the point where I was gone for 14 good years, I think. Where I was just like, deuces, because y'all doing too much. It's too much for my brain.
Yeah.
I love y'all. Y'all my heart. And the thing is, I don't take nothing from it. It never was a situation where I was against what you doing spiritually. I believe everything God called you to be.
Yeah.
I know you are this. I know you are that. I would never go against that.
Right.
But because over here in our family issues, we got all these family issues. Y'all making it church issues. Now I ain't got no other choice but to be like deuces.
Yeah.
Because now it's like, oh, Chastity done went clean crazy. She done went crazy.
Yeah.
I'd have been called the devil. I was said all kind of stuff. I done been against my own grandmother. Like, for real?
Yeah.
Are you serious? Like that? Yeah, it was a real thing to you. You really thought I was against my grandma? You thought I was gonna come?
Yeah.
My grandma got sick down in. They had to go to. I ain't gonna put out all that, but she got sick and had to go to the hospital, and it was this big thing like Chastity can't come. because she don't love us. She's against our grandmother. Where do you
Sometimes
get that
it
from?
turns to that.
But
Sometimes
that
it
right there
turns to that.
just
And there's a fine line with that too.
yes, Lord.
You said that's
So
Lord.
I was like, all right, if it's like that, it's like that. And so I'm gone. That's it. And then after that, I became all these backsliding, this and third. No matter what I was actually doing spiritually, I'm in a whole another church, or I'm doing all this other things.
Yeah.
Between me and God, I've got my own personal relationship. It's never looked at as chastity is saved. Like I'm just never, because I don't go to your church, because I have a family church or whatever that my close family runs. If I don't go to your church, you're saying that I'm completely out of the will of God. I'm just headed for hell.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, what? but I can't have the Lord too. I can't be in my own journey or going through my own, whatever. And I'm not saying that I'm not supposed to have certain things going on, because there's a lot of ministries and things that I've dreamt of, and I've seen myself. The Lord has shown me certain things. So I'm not saying that, I don't have a place in this specific, set of people. But you ain't about to tell me I'm going to hell if I ain't with y'all either.
Yeah.
Come on. This a bit much. But anyway, so we want to talk about that thin line right there where you too close. You so close to them that you can't be mad without crossing that other line.
Ooh, you hitting a button, a string. You are so close to home. Let me drink to
Right.
that. I mean, growing up in church, I would say majority of the churches that I've been to, it's like those small, intimate churches where everybody knows everybody.
Right.
It's family members. It's, the small little community. So anything that happens in your household, they
Everybody know.
Everybody know. And it's nothing you can hide. And it makes it hard to, to differentiate, what the pastor's trying to say, especially if he knows my situation. Sometimes you might feel like he's exploiting you. He's talking about you. And maybe God has that word for everybody and somebody else is sharing it.
Right.
But sometimes it feels like it's going directly to you. And at some point it's like, okay, how do I pretty much try to balance what he's trying to say and not take offense to it.
Right.
Yeah. And that's the hardest thing, especially when you are in these small churches. And I actually appreciate the small churches because sometimes you don't have family.
Yeah.
And, it might be a small church in your community. And you just want, not just to find the Lord, but you want to have a sense of belonging. You want to be able to go to church, what church is known for.
Yeah.
For healing.
Yeah.
To talk to somebody, to praise him with other people. So yes, sometimes it could be challenging.
Yeah.
Especially when, your family members are in it.
Yeah.
And you want everybody to be saved.
Yeah.
That's the part, especially the people that's closest to
Yeah.
you. You want everybody to be saved. Hell, I want me to be saved.
Right.
And when you have the same people when it comes to your cousins, your family members in that church, and you decide to, I don't want to say outgrow, because you just have a different path.
Yeah.
And sometimes it looks like,
for you.
Yeah, for you. And sometimes it's going to look like, she's, stepping out. She's backsliding.
Right.
She's not going in the right direction. But it could be a different path that God wants you to go.
Yeah.
It could be your time is up.
Yeah.
Your assignment was up. Not to say you're done.
Right.
But, but
your time there. Right.
is up. And sometimes, some people, feels like this church is the end all be all.
Right. My God.
And I don't want to say, I'm not going to say that it applies to everybody, but it's like
something though right there.
No, but that church at that moment was good for that season of your life.
Yeah.
You understand? And it's not that you're better. It's not, but sometimes you have to move on.
Right.
You have to move on. So
Yeah.
I know too well
Yeah.
when you talk about, that type of church hurt,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
because not only are you, walking away from the people that is consider your family members,
Right.
people you grew up with, childhood friends,
Yep.
and you're maybe even getting married to
Yeah.
somebody else, and as women we have to follow our husbands.
Exactly.
So wherever he feels
Right.
he's led to, we kind of have to submit to that.
But it makes it like you're betraying.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? Sometimes you have that guilt. You carry around that
Yeah.
guilt. Like me personally, I don't want to keep saying I, but it's it's our perspective. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So you carry that guilt because it's like you've been in that church for so long. They
became family.
Sometimes they became family.
Yeah.
They had. Sometimes you have vision for yourself. People have visions for you too.
Yeah.
They see your children gonna be raised in that
Right.
church.
Yeah.
Be active members in that church, but
Right.
sometimes the story changes.
Yeah.
It flips.
Girl.
You don't know where you're gonna go. So that's when the chaos is, especially in those family reunions, and you kind of have to find
What
something
you
else to
out
talk
there
about.
doing?
Yeah.
You
And I
done
don't
went
mean
to church
that-
yet? You found you a church home?
You feel that underlining thing that they try to
Right.
say.
Right.
But at the same time, it's like I see people for who they are,
Yeah.
and you appreciate the ones that actually understand that you got another journey. You got to
Yeah.
go somewhere else.
It is
Maybe
what it
it's
is.
for at this journey, at this point in time, it's time for you to move on.
Yeah. Yeah, my because mine is my real actual family, and not just like my far off family. It's like my mom, my grandma, like my main, right there.
Yeah.
They my family, and so there are, like I said, I'm not oblivious to certain things. I've seen certain things.
Oh, girl.
I've had issues happen that kind of.
You don't want to say it.
And it was also through getting married. Like, that was one
Yeah.
of the biggest things. Getting married
Yeah.
to the man that I married
Yeah.
was very big in their eyes. Like a big, I don't want to say a big no. But, because it wasn't a big no to everybody.
Okay. Yeah.
But to the ones that it mattered, it was a big no. And it was like, what are you doing? And I was young, which I get. I was young. I get that part. And going back now, especially now that I have a daughter, it's like I do get it. If my daughter was to come over here talking about some, I done met this older guy.
Yeah.
Baby, me and her daddy is finna be like, we finna jump him. I don't know what. No, we not finna, So, I mean, I definitely, going back now, I get a lot of what took place, but I think because I hold you so dear to still being my family, that part of Chastity and our family no more kind of just hurt me to a point I can't even look at you the same.
Yeah.
Because how could you say that? Like, how could it get to a point? I get other people.
Yeah.
I've watched other people in and out the church, curse in the church. I mean, I had really bad, negative, when they left, it was really bad.
Yeah.
I've seen that happen, and that's with them. But I never expected it to happen to me because at the end of the day, regardless of whether I go to this church, we still all family.
We family.
We all gotta still come together for the kids, if not for anything else.
Yeah.
Like,
I gotta
that
see you.
part, girl, when we first, it's crazy, when we first met, that was during all this crazy stuff that was going on in my personal life. And
Damn, how long ago?
it was ooh,
Oh, Jesus.
it was a
Yeah,
long time. What,
long time ago.
2010?
Yeah,
I
2000.
think, or 11, 2010 or 11.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so much going on because I done married this man.
Uh-oh.
And,
Yeah.
you know, he got family that don't quite agree with this part of my family or vice versa. And yeah, it just became a hot mess.
Yeah.
But I promise you, in my heart, soul, mind, everything, I thought that at the end of the day, I would still be chastity to you.
Yeah.
So regardless of anything, I'm still your this or your cousin, your
Yeah.
niece, your nephew, not nephew.
That's what you thought.
But you get what I'm saying. I thought that was still going to be, at the end of the day, what you hold on to. But when that didn't happen, and it was kind of like, look at Chastity with side eye. Every time we come around, Chastity got the side eye. You know, that was a problem for me.
Oh, yeah.
It was a problem for me. When certain cousins couldn't come around me.
Yeah.
Because I guess I was going to tank them.
Uh-oh.
Or I'm gonna be a bad influence to them in some kind of way. I'm like, what? I would never.
Yeah.
I would never on purpose do something that would deter somebody else from their spiritual whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's just never going to be me. But it's like nobody knew that. It was like nobody knew that. Everybody's saying, Chastity gonna do this, Chastity gonna do that. Don't go over there. Y'all don't go around there. don't go over there to them folk house. I'm like, them folk? I'm them folk now?
Yeah.
Like, what?
You'll get them labels.
Right, I'm really that? So, yeah, that was a really, to me, that probably hurt me more than all the other stuff that took place. All the stuff I seen when we was talking about with the other guests and all the nasty things that took place. Because there was some nasty stuff took place. I done seen my polar ass. My polar 12-year-old ass have never seen.
And you'll see it in the church.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
And right there in the church.
Oh, man.
You about to make me
straight
say
to that.
something. I got to be careful. I got to be careful because I don't want to get nobody in trouble. But that still, I think, took more hurt than anything else. All other stuff took the back seat. And you would think the other stuff would be bigger.
Yeah.
But it's not. Because to me, I value my family.
Me too.
That is a big thing for me. That's why I'm so family orientated with my kids and my husband. There ain't nothing more than them.
Yeah.
Other than God. So it's like, if that ain't right, if I don't got a good relationship with my mom, you know, that like we had to really come. Now we're good. We're good now.
Yeah.
We've had these conversations even on this podcast. So now we're in a better place. But it was a point where we don't even have a relationship. We might come in the same state and don't see each other.
And I think that's big because even with families, that's the thing. With families at the church, it's the expectations.
Yeah.
Everybody expects you to be a certain way, to stay a certain
don't
way.
Have that feelings
you know,
in the world
it's
either.
the expectations that's the problem, you know? And sometimes God has a different plan for you. Like, you know, if we could remove your expectation for me, I think we would be in...
Girl, you were preaching.
Okay.
Right now.
I don't mean to preach, but...
That's a big thing. Even
it's the expectation.
It's a big thing.
And that's the killer too, because with their expectation, it makes you feel like you're carrying a load. Like, damn, I disappointed them. You know, they think I'm better than this, and they think this and that.
There was many nights I've cried because I'm like, I'm the black sheep of the family.
Ooh.
And I'm literally, the crazy thing is, growing up, I always was the little one. Anyway, because I was the youngest of our little group or whatever.
Yeah.
So I already had that to deal with, you know, growing up with all them mean-spirited cousins of mine. But
don't say no names.
Right, they know who they is. But anyway, but I already had to deal with that. But I thought, you know, as I got older, people started to see me for who I am. Yeah. Everything's gonna be beautiful. You know, I'm just Chastity. You know, everybody know I have a beautiful love language. Y'all know I'm a giver.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm thinking, You see me.
You see that. Yeah. Uh-huh.
But you can't see me because you seeing all this other stuff.
Yeah.
And because I've decided to go a different path, you definitely can't see me now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because it ain't no way you can be a part of something else other than
this.
This is it.
this is
it. And if you ain't right here.
Okay.
But the crazy thing is, and that's not to the pastor.
Yeah, no.
Because what's crazy is, what nobody knows is, me and the pastor, we had a full conversation. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
He gave me his blessing. He said, I want you to go and find yourself, get you a church. As long as you have a church home, that's all I care about. That was beautiful to me. That was a beautiful moment. It was a genuine, it was a real moment. We had a whole crybaby session and everything. It was a beautiful moment. But it was with him.
Just him.
All the rest of the crew didn't have that same thought process.
Yeah.
Everybody else, they think I'm against the church because I want to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
No, I'm just young. I wanna go off in my life. I just got married. Yeah. I want to go off in my life, find myself in my marriage.
Wow.
So I want to experience that. Let me,
I feel like I'm right there right now.
You are.
I really
probably,
feel like
I can imagine because
crazy.
you have to, and that's a big thing. If you don't allow that to happen, you'll resent it later on. Yes. Or vice versa, he might resent it. Either somebody gonna resent something because it's almost like a force.
Yeah.
And what was crazy is when I first got married, the Lord spoke to me and he told me, do not force him. My husband, he was speaking on, because those who know my husband, he a little rough around the edges. We'll say that. He grew up in the church too. His mother was, hallelujah, sanctified. But it kind of skipped over him. I don't know what happened.
Don't say it.
He definitely was a street nigga. But but whatever it is that God is doing in his life, he has to do.
That's right. That's
between him and God. I can't force it, because if I force it, it's not real.
Right.
It's like I'm just going to church because you asked me to.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just doing this because my wife made me come here, so I'm here because, And you're not getting no further with God doing it that way. So I get why the Lord told me, don't force him. Yeah. And he ain't the type that... Anyway, we gonna get past that part. Because forcing him can backfire, and then it's a hot mess on Sunday mornings.
Oh, Lord, we don't want that.
Right. I told you I ain't want to... It's hot in here. Let me stop. You go
when is it over?
But for real, he done came a long way, though. He's a lot better. But back then, them Sunday morning talks was crazy. But...
I believe it.
I get it. I get it wholeheartedly, because if I want him to really be my leader, I want him to actually be able to lead me spiritually. This thing got to be real. Yeah. It has to be real with him, because I ain't about to follow the blind.
Okay.
Blind leading the blind. No, we can't have that.
No, man.
I need you to be real with God, get your relationship right with God, so you can actually lead this whole family. Yes. We can't be going astray. No, baby. Mm-hmm. But now, though, like I said, me and my mom, just skip past a lot of that. Me and my mom, we have a better relationship. Me and a lot of everybody else, it's totally different.
How long did it take, though, for them to be that way? How long did it take for that relationship to be rekindled? I don't think it was them. You don't think it was them?
No. No offense. Sorry, people. But I think it was me. I just said, forget
Bump
it.
This?
No, I said forget it. And I don't have those same arts anymore. I don't have the same...
passion to...
I don't even... Right now, my spiritual walk is so much more important.
Yeah.
Than all the petty stuff.
I agree.
So wherever I need to go to get whatever it is that the Lord is trying to tell me, I'm right there front row. Mm-hmm. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. Yeah, say a prayer for me.
Yes, Lord.
For real. Because, I mean, and like I said, all this stuff is old, by the way. So if you're watching this thinking I'm saying something about you, I'm definitely not. Everything I'm talking about is old. About
I see
14.
faces over
For
here.
real, it is. It's funny because it's about 14 whole years old, but it
Yeah.
still is something.
Feel fresh.
It feels fresh. If
Mhm.
it do, that means you still got it on your mind.
Yeah. You gotta let
Clock
that
that
go.
T. You better let it
Let
go.
it go.
I don't let it go. But nah, I love my family.
Yeah.
Because like I told you before, I know there
Yeah.
is a lot of ministries, and I
Mm.
say that with an S because there's a lot of ministries that is between, especially me and my mom. We definitely share a lot of passion for like outreach and different things we do right now, feeding the homeless, stuff like that. So I know for fact there is definitely something I have to do with my family.
Yeah.
So, like I said, all that stuff is old, petty,
Yeah.
14 years old, 15 really, about 15 years. But yeah, it's still something that I feel like goes on every day, and I want it to be addressed because if you're currently going through it and you currently are turning away from God, because sometimes that's what happens. You end up is why you think you turning away from your family, you turn away from these people, you turning away from God.
That's true.
And you're blaming the wrong person. You're giving the wrong person that energy. And that's not where it belongs. If you don't understand that your walk with God is first, regardless of anything that is going on.
Anything.
It could be all what we talked about with the first guest. It is possible that you went through some traumatizing things with men. And if that's the case, address that. I'm not ever going to tell you not to. Don't be like we did.
Okay.
We didn't address it, and it went on for years and years and years and spilt over into the younger crew. And that right there should have never happened because had we spoke up, it would have never got to that point where now the younger kids are getting touched.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah, for real.
Ooh.
So speak up, but don't let it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't let it. You making me laughing about this, but don't let it stop your relationship with God because that has nothing to do with each other. He need to go to jail. Whoever it is, go ahead and write your report. Do whatever that needs to happen, but don't stray away from God. So many people end up letting that take you away from God, blaming Him. He never, what's the song? He never said that this road was easy. He never once promised anything, and that's any sort of easy. It never said you won't have mountains, valleys, and everything. In fact, he specifically tells you you're gonna have those mountains.
Yeah.
He specifically says,
Come on,
when
preach.
you overcome, which means you have to overcome so many tragedies, so many things you think is gonna break you, but it's never gonna break you. It may feel like you're broken. It may feel like your heart is shattered into pieces and you can't pick up. But you can pick up. Why am I preaching on every episode?
Come on. Come on. That might be your gift now.
But it can be better. You can make the situation a testimony. Help somebody else. Take what happened to you, Destiny, and give it to somebody else. You got a whole new younger crew coming up.
Yeah.
Watch. Pay attention. Because you know the signs.
Yeah.
You know the signs. I know the signs. I've seen it. So I'm paying close. Girl, I got my one and only right here. My one and only daughter. You best to believe I'm paying attention.
Okay.
She hooked on to my belt loop if I can. You go everywhere I go. I don't care. I'm watching you like a hawk. Because at the end of the day, what you don't want to happen is what happened with us. Well, we just kind of let so much happen, and it just was normal. It became so much, and so it was normal to us, and
y'all probably didn't think it was a problem.
we didn't. We honestly,
it was young.
It was so bad. It was so bad. One of the girls was like, "Oh, he the best I ever had."
Oh my gosh.
We like, now that I'm older, I'm like, he's like 40. Wait a minute. Why are we saying this is cool? And we all, when I say we young, I want to say when I came around, from my own knowledge, the youngest was about 11 years old.
Excuse me, what?
11 years old. And we ain't talking about fundle. You know, Destiny, hers went to a certain level.
Yeah.
I don't mean to keep on calling your name, but
Yeah.
it is what it is. You was just on this on the podcast, so people know. Yours was on a certain level. We talking about full on intercourse with an 11-year-old. So when I tell you, bruh, I told y'all my eyes is burnt.
Okay.
It'll see so many crazy things.
That's why a
so
lot of
parents
don't want to have sleepoovers. Let them kids have
right.
sleepovers.
No. I know what happened back in the day.
Okay.
We know what
Okay.
how to go get it.
Yes, we do.
All them yeah, you don't know how to go get it in, baby. It's okay. I'm glad you don't. I'm glad you don't know what it is. But we most definitely had some weird games. And we all cousins. That's the other weird part. We all cousins. What the word is we weren't having these games with cousins? This is strange.
Yeah.
This is strange. This is strange.
Yeah.
But I love y'all. Please don't come fighting me because I said this on the podcast. Don't do that. But but it needs to be said though, because for real, I'm trying to help the new generation. Yeah. If I can say anything that's gonna help you speak up and say something, by all means, speak up, baby. Say something. Because it's still going on, it's still alive and well in these wonderful churches. Don't sweep nothing under the rug. Please don't. Let the man pay for whatever he did. It is what it is. And if it's the other side of things we was talking about with the family and with the, being able to move and leave churches and, stuff like that, confront it head on. I had to just come straight out with my mom. And I keep talking about my mom because that was the most important to me, was my mom. Everybody else, I felt like we were going to be cool anyway, regardless. We grew up together. But, it is what it is. Y'all be all right. But with my mom, I cannot have this. I grew up without my mom to begin with. Wait a minute. I don't want to have an emotional moment, but I kind of felt a slight hint of emotion, but I'm going to let it go because I can't cry on this camera. But, what is happening to me? I'm trying to be cool. But I grew up without my mom. Yeah. And then 13 years old, got back with my mom. I had 7 years. That is it. I had 7 years with my mom. Those years were
trial and error.
Yes, it was. It was
you were learning.
It was a lot.
You were learning.
But I loved my mom. I had such a love that it overpassed all of the craziness. But when it got to I'm grown now. Time to, let me go. Yeah. And she just went the other way. She just went crazy. Wouldn't talk to me. It was weird. I mean to put that out there. I'm sorry, Mama. No. But she wouldn't talk to me when she came down here. Then when she finally did talk to me and I was trying to tell her all my accomplishments one time, she was like, "Oh, that's it?"
Ooh, Mama.
So because... anyway, because I'm not with you, I can't have real accomplishments. I can't, I can't live life. I can't go on because I ain't with you. You think I'm supposed to be with you? Yeah. But she did. She really did. And I don't know. I guess because we only had 7 years, and it kind of like I'm snatched away. But that's still not. It wasn't my fault. We only had 7 years. Sorry, not to say it like that, but it just it is what it is. Yeah. I'm grown now. It's time for me to spread my wings, let me go. And that just went somewhere else. But I felt the need to make sure. I know I'm still just talking. No, you okay. I felt the need to make sure that I mended that relationship. So we had this whole big breakdown in the car one day. And it was beautiful. and heart-wrenching all at the same time.
Yeah.
And
it was needed to be done.
It needed to be done. That's what I mean by it has to be just address it and address it quickly. Don't let it simmer. Don't let it pile on. Don't let more side eyes happen. More, talking about you at the Christmas party. More, all that. It just adds on. So get it over with. Get it over with so y'all are free. Because what happens is when you don't forgive and you don't get that freedom, it is actually not doing anything to the other person whatsoever. It's to you. You're in bondage. You're still wrapped up in that unforgiveness. You're still wrapped up in those feelings of hate and envy and all of the things that you think you're not, but you really are. You feeling that feeling you're having? Yeah. That is a hateful feeling. So don't let that eat you up and tear you down till you do become that nothing that they saying you are.
Without them.
And do you have anything to add? Because we're going to wrap it up if we are all...
I mean, I feel like it's important to communicate those feelings. Like, you don't want to have that resentment in your heart. You don't want it to eat up at you. And we don't know. Our time is limited. We only, what the Bible said, how many years we have? 70 years on this earth.
7 times 7. What you talking about?
7 scores, something scores.
Something of the sort.
Some type of math.
I should have stayed in Sunday school.
But at the end of the day, it's like, why not share it now? I know sometimes they might take it. Yeah. They'll take it the way they want to, but at least it's off your chest.
Yeah, get it out there.
At least they understand your perspective, hear your perspective, even if they don't understand your perspective. And I think that's important for sure.
Absolutely. Sure. Black people don't like therapy, but
no, we don't.
Baby, we need it.
Okay.
For real. We out here traumatized. Literally. For real. Out here living in the trauma. Just keep on going.
And still.
Like we ain't traumatized.
And comfortable in it.
Yeah, because we think we can muscle through anything.
Yeah. Therapy, sometimes therapy sounds like you crazy, but it's not. You crazy.
It is crazy. No. Let's keep it on buck.
That's...
Real talk. We may sit here and play like we ain't got no issues, baby. We do. We really do. Some of our relationships is hurting because of the issues we got from way childhood stuff we done been through and ain't healed from. And that makes you crazy. I mean, let me not.
Let's use a different term.
Let me not say crazy, but y'all know what I'm saying.
We off the chain.
Yeah, we off the chain. That's why we are looked at as aggressive people. Yeah. All that is real.
Yeah.
And y'all be thinking, oh, white. I don't mean to say white people. I'm sorry, y'all. I love y'all. But white people always be like, black women are aggressive. That's a big thing, right? And we don't like it. We don't like when they say that. But the truth of the matter is, ain't we quick to... Excuse me? We are quick.
No, that's the truth.
0 to 100 very quickly.
That's the truth.
That's aggressive. I'm sorry. Yeah. We are aggressive. It is what it is. Do we have reason to be? Yes. But we need to address those reasons. All right. But we want to thank Mikki for coming. Yes. And we want to thank Destiny as well for coming. Yes. You're like nerd. Don't forget to participate in the lottery. I forgot to say that. Don't forget to participate in the lottery. Like, comment, and subscribe.
Yes.
Next 2 episodes. So the one that comes out this weekend and the one that comes out Wednesday. If you do not do that, you won't be in the lottery.
Come on.
Hello. Lottery, you win $100 Amazon gift card, by the way.
I'm going to be in that lottery.
Right.